Hi, my name is Kaitlyn and I'm a handler at Grady Vet. Today I would like to show you some important items to include in a pet first aid kit. During the summer we are all more active, including our pets. It is important to be prepared for life's little emergencies to keep our pets healthy. To begin, collect a bag from around your house. Some examples would be a sturdy shopping bag or a reusable grocery bag. Anything will work. It doesn't have to be a plastic first aid kit that you would find with Red Cross. Today I chose a sturdy shopping bag. I filled it with items that I think are important to include in a first aid kit. It's important to understand that this is a generic first aid kit. If you would like a pet-specific first aid kit, you may want to meet with your individual veterinarian. So to begin, I have a pair of scissors. I chose a child-sized pair of scissors, but you could use any type of household scissors. What these are good for is to free your pet from any type of entanglement that they may be in, or to remove an object that may have become matted in your pet's fur. The next item that I would encourage you to use is a set of tweezers. Tweezers will help you to remove objects from wounds or to remove any type of fur or anything that needs to come out to prevent infection. The next thing I would include is a set of toenail trimmers, and I'm going to have Sid help me with this. This is my pet Sid. Toenail trimmers help you to remove torn toenails that may cause certain irritation for your pet. So to use a toenail trimmer, you're going to sit your pet down and you're going to lightly bring their paw up. And this little loop here is where the toenail goes into, and you simply put the toenail into it, and then you're just going to trim off. A lot of times when you're trimming toenails, you cause them to bleed accidentally. It's no fault of your own, or with a toenail, a torn toenail, they may already be bleeding. So to prevent the bleeding, we encourage that you have Quick Stop in your first aid kit. What it is, it's a kind of like a yellow sand-like material, and inside of it comes with a little plastic tube, and this fit here. You just take the toenail and you just pack it into the sand, and that will cause it to clot and stop the bleeding. The next item we would encourage you to include is a bottle of Eyewash. One thing to remember is that you want strictly Eyewash, not contact lens solution. I know when I was looking for it, I accidentally grabbed the contact lens solution. To do this, it's very similar to humans. You're just going to tilt the pet's head back. And they might not like that, but you need to do that, and keep the eye open as much as you can. And you're just going to put a few squirts in there, and that'll drain out any foreign objects that may have caught in your dog's eye or your cat, any type of pet. The next thing we have is Gauze Pads. Gauze Pads are used to stop bleeding or to cover a wound. You're just simply going to place it wherever on your pet is bleeding. You soak up the blood, and then to keep the Gauze Pads on, we would include vet wrap, and vet wrap is to hold the gauze in place. It's an equivalent to tape. I prefer it because it is less painful when removing the bandage from your pet. It doesn't rip the hair off. It sticks to itself and it conforms to the shape of your pet's body. Another form of gauze that I would also include is rolling gauze. Rolling gauze, like gauze, it helps stop bleeding, cover wounds, but also it's protection for if you have to splint a part of your dog's or cat's body. So that I would also include. The next thing would be bandage scissors. The difference between bandage scissors and normal scissors are bandage scissors have a very blunt bottom edge, so that when you're slipping it between the bandage and the pet's skin, it doesn't cut them. So these are good for removing bandages. You can use them as normal scissors, but that's their primary use, is to remove bandages. Next thing we have is a syringe. Our syringes here at Grady come with needles at the end, so if there is a needle on it, you simply leave the cap on and screw it off and throw it in a sharps container. You don't want to leave it in a trash can. That could be dangerous. And what you can use a syringe for is to wash a dog's eye out. If they're sensitive and they don't like you putting individual drops in, you can fill the syringe and wash their eye all in one doing, or you could rinse out a wound to prevent infection once again. The next object we have is triple antibiotic ointment. This is similar to Neosporin, Polysporin. Anything will do. This is for light use on mild skin wounds. The one thing I would caution with this is a lot of dogs like to lick this, so if you're putting it on your pet, and especially cats when they're grooming themselves, definitely cover this up with gauze and vet wrap to keep them from licking it. The next thing we have is a muzzle. I know a lot of people think muzzles are evil things, or their pets, well trained, it would never bite, and I trust my dogs as well, but a lot of times when they're in pain, they act in ways that they may not normally. So a muzzle would be a good thing to do if you're fixing a wound or something, and you just simply unclip it, and you're just going to bring it up in front and around, and you snap it on, and then you just want to make sure it's as tight as possible because dogs sometimes they can get their paw up in it and take it off. So make sure it's extra tight and it fits their muzzle. Next thing we have is Benadryl. I brought Allertech. I got this at Costco. Any type of allergy medicine will do. This is for stings and allergic reactions, but with this, it's important that you talk to your vet first about the proper dosage for your pet's weight because you don't want to give them too much or too little. The next thing you'll want to include is vet-prescribed pain medicine. One thing with this is sometimes a lot of people use over-the-counter human pain medicine. That's not exactly healthy for your dog, so we recommend talking to your veterinarian about some as-needed emergency pain relief in case you're at home and an emergency should arise and your animal is in a lot of pain. You can give them proper dosage, and your vet will give you those if you request them. The next thing is latex gloves. You can use these for any type of emergency with your pet. We especially recommend them with messy situations in which there's a lot of blood or a type of infection, and it'll protect both you and your pet from the spread of those things. Next thing we have is an old washcloth. You could use an old towel. These are good for cleaning wounds if you're out of Gauze Pads, or if it's a towel, it'll keep your pet warm if they're hypothermic. You just wrap it around them. This one's kind of small, but it's also, for my pets, it's a sense of comfort as well if they have a smell from home, if you're in the car taking them to the vet, if it's something serious. So we recommend putting one of those in your kit. The next thing we have is, this is a hot pad, and all it is you just throw it in the microwave for 4 to 5 minutes and it will warm. And then we also have ice packs. The ice packs are used if your pet has a burn. You want to place that on the skin as soon as possible, kind of like with a human when they have burns, we run it under cold water and put it on ice, and that'll help decrease the severity of the burn. And then with a hot pack, that is if your pet's temperature is below normal or they're feeling a little hypothermic to you. And then finally, it's important to have an emergency contact list of your local veterinarian that your pet visits and then the emergency. Here I have Grady's number, but you could have, I know Sid here goes to Oakley normally, and then if it's an emergency we bring him to Grady. So you want to have all those numbers available at your access. These items should keep you prepared in case there is an emergency in your home. Please keep in mind that these are temporary aids. Should your pet sustain major injuries, please contact your vet immediately. Have a safe and healthy summer.